Hello everybody, welcome inside the Fantasy Hut. I'm the league commissioner, David Kiarsis, bringing you our first fantasy football podcast of the season. Now you might be a little surprised to see me back behind the analyst desk. It's been quite a while since we produced a podcast show for you, but I thought it would be a good idea to bring it back for the upcoming 2015 season, get everybody excited for football. Football's back. I'm sure you guys are all as excited as I am. So I thought to get it hyped up a little bit, do a little different format this year. So I'm bringing you the league by the numbers, 11 stats to know for the 11th season of the league. Our first number, 100. 100 is going to be each team's budget for our new free agent system. It's called FAB, which stands for Free Agent Acquisition Budget. It's probably new to most of it. I know some of the league members have used it before. It's new to the league. Trying something new, give everybody an opportunity to get those all-important free agents throughout the season. Some of those players end up becoming keepers. So this is probably a more balanced, fair way for, instead of making free agent claims based on your priority, you're going to be putting bids. And, the more you want a guy, the more money you got to put down to get him. And this is just hopefully creates a little bit more fair playing ground and just will hopefully increase the competitiveness of the league. Feel free as the season goes on, before we get started, if you don't understand anything, make sure you ask questions. We want everybody to be on the same page. Our second number is 40. 40 is the percentage of games that teams have scored at least 200 points since 2008, both regular season and playoffs. So these are games in which at least one of the two teams have scored over 200 points. That means 2 out of every 5 games is featuring at least one team scoring over 200 points. And we've kind of altered our scoring system over the years with the goal of creating a good league, but also to score points. The more points you score, the more fun it is. And this year should be no different. We've had some scoring changes. Make sure everybody is aware of that heading into the draft, but we still should be putting up points. RG3-Way actually leads all teams with 35 such games over the last 6 years. Our next number is 25. 25 is the number of keepers in ESPN's top 50. So if you look at the current ESPN rankings, top 300 in their draft kit, of the top 50, 25 of them will be keepers heading into the season. Keepers have obviously been an important part of team success over the years since we integrated the system. And obviously teams have done a good job building their rosters, and we got a lot of elite players already off the board heading into the draft, which just makes draft day that much more important. You got to not only have those good keepers, but you got to build around them and create a good, deep roster. Our next number is 19. 19 is the percentage of games that have been decided by less than 10 points since 2009, including both the regular season and playoffs. That includes a season-high 16 last year. So we've had some close games, obviously, over the years. Almost 1 out of every 5 games is being decided by less than 10 points, and we had 16 just last year. I think that speaks to the competitiveness of the league, that every point matters. Last year's championship between D. Buddis and Le'Veon's Bell came down to fractions of a point, so you just never know where a catch here, a yard here is going to end up leading to a W. 16, our next number is 16, which one of our next changes for the upcoming season is the importance that we're going to put on the consolation bracket. So all 16 weeks matter this year. That your season's not over until your last game. If you win that consolation bracket, it means something this year. It means you get that first choice of draft pick for the following season. So make sure everybody's staying competitive towards the end of the season. Our next number is 10. 10 is the amount of rookies in ESPN's top 100. Again, mentioning that top 300 rankings on ESPN currently. In the top 100, 10 of them are rookies. Rookies have obviously, their value kind of goes up in our keeper system, that you want to find that next great young player to build your franchise around for years to come. So obviously, those are going to be a focal point again this year. There's some big names coming into the draft this season. Since 2010, there's actually been at least one rookie drafted in the first 6 rounds of every draft, including 3 in the 7th round alone last season. Our next number is 6. 6 is the longest active winning streak by one team over another, which the Surge has actually beaten Kamoli 6 straight games, so that spans over the last 3 seasons. Ansurge actually has a lot of big winning streaks over some teams. 6 just happens to be the longest. We'll see if Kamoli can get off the schneid this year and take down the Surge. Our next number is 5. This will be our 5th live draft in league history. However, only 2012, did we have all 10 members of the league in attendance. We'll be missing RG3-Way for the second straight year, so be sure to give him some shit about that. Our next number is 4. Obviously, one of the most talked about things every year is those teams that have yet to win a title. 4 teams have yet to win a title. Mace's Aces, Camoli, RG3-Way, and Samp D's. We'll have to see if either of them can get the job done this year. Mace's Aces was in the final 2 years ago. And RG3-Way, he has the longest active playoff streak, making the playoffs for 4 straight seasons, but he's bowed out in the quarterfinals each year. Our next number is 3, kind of going off of the teams that haven't won a title. We have 3 teams that have won multiple titles after D-Butta's won its second last year. He'll try to become the 3rd team to ever repeat in league history. If he were to do so, it would also tie the Sorge for the most championships in league history. And our final number is 2. 2 is the fewest wins by one team over another in league history. Those teams are D-Butta's has only defeated the Sorge twice. 40's has only defeated D-Butta's twice. Samp D's has only defeated Balsa Hard U twice. The Sorge has actually beaten D-Butta's 5 straight times, which, because that's a non-divisional game, that spans over 5 years. And D-Butta's actually beaten 40's 5 straight times, which includes the playoff game that they played in 2012 in the championship game. Those schedules, probably ones to circle on the calendar. D-Butta's faces off against the Sorge in Week 12, while 40's will take on D-Butta's in Week 7. So there you have it. There's the league by the numbers. Hopefully you're all as excited as I am to put up some big numbers this year and hopefully get that big number 1, which is to end the season as number 1. I'm David Kiarsis, Commissioner of the League. Hopefully we'll be back for some more shows throughout the season. We'll get Mace's Aces on the behind the camera and behind the desk to talk some football as the season goes on. Enjoy the season.